Hey there, TCH Plays here, and we are back again after a long time for another historically accurate loadout, and this time it's going to be on the new Call of Duty Vanguard. This time we are going to be focusing on the Allied powers, primarily the United States, and specifically their standard infantry loadout. They were in World War II the only country to equip their and standard issue all of their standard infantries with a semi-automatic rifle, the 8-round M1 Garand firing the 30-06 round and firing 3 times as fast as the Springfield 1903 bolt action rifle, which was their previous standard issue weapon during World War I. And this allowed them to lay down heavier volumes of suppressive fire with few people, and thus relying less on their machine gunners, all while being able to be as accurate and shoot nearly as good as their Springfield 1903. Aside from that, this has made it easier for newer recruits, especially in the later parts of the war, to pick up and use the guns, as they don't need to learn how to work the bolt, and if they miss, they can fire again instead of working the bolt, or be forced to fight hand to hand in close quarters. As for the secondary or sidearm, they carry around the trusty 8-round M1911 firing the .45 ACP round. Okay, so this brings us to Call of Duty Vanguard, and for the primary weapon, of course, we will be selecting the M1 Garand. As for attachments, the only attachments that I would say that are historically accurate are maybe the bayonet if you want, but I know that wasn't used as widely as other guns, since the M1 Garand is a semi-automatic rifle, and yeah, you can always shoot up like follow-up shots instead of having to cock the bolt every time, and so you wouldn't be getting a lot of use out of the bayonet. And probably the same holds for in Call of Duty as well, so if you want, you could of course put that on. And for the muzzle, I wouldn't go for anything barrel, optic, stock, none of that. For the magazine as well, ammo type, you could kind of choose, but I would kind of, I guess, stray against that, as it's not very historically accurate. Rear grip, no as well. For the kit, can choose anything, cause the kit is kind of like your own personal thing. So I have fast melee, but I know surplus is really good for if you want to level up, and reach is really good if you are looking to if you have the bayonet on and you want a melee, and fully loaded just to get more ammo, starting ammo. And for the proficiency, any proficiency as well. I know the vital perk is really good, so you might want to, if you can unlock this, you might want to take this. So that's all I would choose for the M1 Garand, that I would say the attachments that are the most historically accurate in that sense. Okay, as for the secondary, you want to pick the 1911 because that's the secondary that they always use. And for the gunsmith, as I said, not really any don't put any attachments on, as they just ran their 1911 stock. So that's basically it. And for the perks, I would choose survival training, to act like as basic training, because in basic training they probably learn survival training stuff. And high alert, because most of them are fighting in countries where they are not really familiar with, and they are most probably on really high alert, so kind of makes sense. And for perk 3, you can choose like double time or lightweight, so to move faster, to act like as basic training, where they train their body and learn how to run faster and things like that, and just move overall much better. And for the lethal, of course, the Mark II grenade, that's the most American one. And the smoke grenade, I would say smoke grenade, as they don't really use stun grenades that much in World War II. They mostly use like smoke grenades because that's more easier to produce. And here, as you can see, is the M18 smoke. So yeah, it's really accurate. It's really historically accurate in a sense. And after that, for the kill streak, you want to go with the spy plane to act like sort of like the reconnaissance plane, that flies over, get us intel. So this will be that. And mortar barrage, like area bombardment, before they rush in, there might be some bombardment from be it like a a ship, you know, a aircraft carrier, a destroyer, or whatever to bomb the area first before they go up. So that would be that. And then the bombing run, you know, to act like allied bombers, you know, just flying overhead and just bombing the area as before. So that is also very historically accurate. And as for the fuel upgrade, I will mostly take the supply box, I would say, because that's most historically accurate. You know, it mostly, I guess, most of them just, you know, they just carry supply boxes, you know, on their backs and things like that. And just being able to resupply yourself, you know, when you run out of ammo or other people is also really good. For the watch, yeah, I think the Pronto Mark 1 looks the most American to me, so that's what I'll be picking. And yeah, that's basically how you would create the sort of American Standard Infantry loadout. And now let's get to how it performs and feels in Vanguard. And let's just say that the M1 Garand feels pretty bad, taking quite a few shots to down your enemies while not having very good recoil and bullet velocity. Overall, it's a pretty weak and terrible gun and not historically accurate in any way to where the M1 Garand should be a hard-hitting gun, especially if you would like to be you know, very historically accurate. The M1911, however, is a pretty good gun to use, and honestly it's really useful when I start missing my shots at close range or when reloading, and it's a great weapon to rely on that I can spam relatively well at close range and still get a kill. As for the kill streaks, honestly the spy plane, honestly I use the spy plane quite a lot, and the others not as much, as I can't really get that many kills because, you know, the M1 Garand in this game sucks. But moving on to the perks, they were really useful in helping me move faster, survive, you know, the grenade spam, especially in shipment, and let me know when I'm gonna get, you know, sniped and one tap and quick scope by, you know, a sniper. But would I recommend you to use this loadout? And my answer is not at the moment, because the M1 Garand and marksman rifles in general in this game are not great. So I will honestly hold off until they buff, you know, marksman rifles and the M1 Garand specifically. But if they don't or haven't yet, I would, you know, suggest against using this loadout and would recommend to use other, you know, historically accurate loadouts if you want to use a historically accurate loadout. But do let me know what you think about this loadout and if you will use it. So if you like these types of historically accurate loadouts in Call of Duty Vanguard, do drop a like to let me know. Subscribe if you'd like to see more of the content, more historically accurate content just like this. Be sure to check out my streams over at twitch.tv/tzhplays, where I use these loadouts live. Last but not least, I'll leave you with some gameplay I have of me using this loadout for you to check out. And thank you all so much. And fuck, bro.
We dug in a Baker.
It's not very good. On it, it's not very good either. So it kind of feels like a heavy weapon but not hitting like a heavy weapon. If you know what I mean. I mean, unless you... if you think about it, it's so hard to... At least you can spam this quite fast.